This past Saturday, I had the privilege to be part of an interfaith panel at the Beitul Afiyat Masjid in Scarborough, Ontario. As part of the event, which was titled Founders Day, the idea was that they brought representatives from the Ahmadiyya Muslim community as well as a Hindu, Sikh, and Jewish panelist. I was representing Christianity, and as part of the namesake of the event, I was asked to speak about Jesus as the founder of my faith. Admittedly, though, this was a bit of an unusual event. Going into it, it was made clear that there was not going to be any real interaction from the stage between the panelists regarding either the common ground or the disagreement from each particular representative's worldview. And that kind of made it a little bit unusual. It was simply an opportunity for an education and to bring clarity regarding other religious perspectives, which you can appreciate. Nonetheless, if you ask me to speak about Jesus in a setting where there are going to be Muslims and Sikhs and Hindus and Jews and maybe even agnostics, they're all going to be present and actually sitting down to listen to what I have to say for 15 to 20 minutes straight, I'm not going to pass up the opportunity. And leading up to the event in my prep, I thought and prayed a lot about my particular approach. I could simply have just talked about the historical Jesus, the fact that there was a real, historical, first century Jewish traveling itinerant rabbi named Jesus of Nazareth, who lived on the eastern side of the Mediterranean, had a public ministry, claimed to be the Son of God, was crucified, and then his followers afterwards claimed he was seen alive post-death. And I don't think it would have been wrong of me to have done that. As a historian, those bare true facts about the historical Jesus are a reality. However, in praying about my method, I decided to start with John's Gospel instead. In my typical nerd fashion, I put a picture of a 2nd century Greek manuscript on the screen of John chapter 1, and I talked about the fact that our earliest extant biographical material on the historical Jesus doesn't start out like a typical biography. You know, unlike biographies today, which might start with an individual's parents or grandparents or maybe their sociological context, what we see is that John begins by saying that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was fully God. The Word was with God in the beginning. All things were created by Him, and apart from Him, not one thing was created that has been created. That's the beginning of John's Gospel. John says that to understand Jesus, you don't just need to understand his parents or his social context. You need to understand all of reality. You need to understand the beginning of the universe. I went on to say that the historical Christian claim is not that Jesus founded a religion. The Christian claim is that Jesus founded the universe. That is what we see in the beginning of John's Gospel. And so in this approach, I did present the undisputed historical facts, many of which, by the way, go directly against what the Muslims believe about Jesus. But that aside, my goal was to communicate that Jesus was no less than the person we can derive from the archaeological record and history. Jesus was no less than that, but Jesus was so much more than that. These types of events that I have the unique opportunity to be able to participate in are gospel opportunities. My prayer and what I would ask for you to likewise pray with me about following this event is that the difference between the cases presented stand out. The other panelists described historical characters who claimed to point to their respective truth. That's what these individuals did. They pointed to a truth. But Jesus didn't claim to point to the truth. Jesus claimed to be the truth. And so despite many of the similarities that Hinduism, Sikhism, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity may indeed have, the differences are what make the difference. Krishna was not a historical character per se, and nor did the Hindu panelist really claim he was. But Guru Nanak, Muhammad, Abraham, and Moses, for lack of a better way of putting it, they're dead. Jesus is not. The historical Christian claim is not that Jesus founded a religion. The historical Christian claim is that Jesus founded the universe.